Hey everybody. Um, so we're back with another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 6, episode 25. A Stormi is brewing. Once again, I just really want to tell everybody thank you for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I put up, a video about the movie Rustin, about the civil rights leader Bayard Rustin, earlier today. So if y'all, it came out on Netflix yesterday, but I have been waiting for it. But if y'all end up watching, because I know everybody's not into stuff like that, but if y'all end up watching it, be sure to go and take a look at the video and write down in the comments what you thought about it, because I'd be interested to see what other people think. Respectfully. Anyway, so okay, yeah. So a story is brewing. So back at the Fletcher family dinner, can I just tell y'all something? I really ain't never really been here for too many people on this show at all. Okay, there's just situations where I just sometimes feel I need to take a side. But let me tell y'all who the MVP of the show is, and who I kind of have like, not like a just a smidgen of a crush on, and it is Chris Fletcher. I like Chris. Chris is all right with me. I like Chris. I fucks with Chris. Okay, I'm here for Chris Fletcher, the senior. Okay, so back at the family dinner, the son was like, "Look, yeah, this is about this, that, and the other, that, and the other. I gave you $3,000 for the dog. He is still tripping on his dog after he done got locked up and in trouble." And she was like, "No, actually, it was $5,000 that you owed me. First of all, because she didn't even talk about the vet bill, which was 3,000 plus, bruh." I was like, "Dang." And then we get Nell's son, who looks just like her. He looked just like her. I was like, "Oh, yeah." Okay, because I was going to everybody take me. I was like, "Yeah, all these look like Fletcher's cat." For some reason, I didn't have a good look at Nell's son at the end. He looked just like her. But is it me? Because now that I don't know what his name was, but there seems to be a lot of ownership and employment within the family. Certainly with the oldest son, Nels. And people helping each other and giving job opportunities within the family. And people having to fire their family members. And I know that must be getting exhausting. Okay, because Nell talked about having to fire cousin Kiki. Cousin Kiki, not Tisha's cousin, but the other cousin Kiki. And then Nell's son is talking about how he had to fire his little brother and how he was setting a bad example. Most people, he was like, all that work we did from the ground up, that I actually worked really hard. I don't think you realize how hard it was. He was like, what about all the times you was chilling out, not doing nothing, and my employees are taking the example from you because you're my brother? I was like, now look, if you got family members that can hook you up with employment, you should really be grateful for that. Because we could talk about networking, and I had to learn that too. Like, I understand about networking, but it's also not what you know, it's who you know. It is not about how hard you work, how smart you are. Just, there's some things you just gotta learn to be grateful for. But anyway, apparently the daughter Alexis with the E, okay, is mad that she had to work at some point this whole summer and put her money away for a car, and all she got was a hoopty. And I was like, I was in college, did this research program, this intense research program for a month, then went out to California, did a pre-law program after my freshman year at Spelman to come up, once again, say $1,500 for a hoopty. It was a 1996 Ford Contour, but let me tell you something. That car lasted me through the rest of college. Don't act like people having to work for their stuff. Okay, you're not going to get no sympathy with that kind of struggle. Okay, and I really was trying to hear you out, Alexis, because I know what it is to be in a family and then feel like people don't be giving you, your due. But by the time we got to the end of this, I couldn't defend you. All right, she was like, well, the parents, basically, y'all was buying all them BMWs and Mercedes. We never did this. And they're like, what are you talking about? Right? So it was just a lot. So Alexis claims she's gotten treated differently from the other kids. So obviously, this is Fletcher's daughter that he had coming into the relationship. But I mean, Nell's been her, mother, blended family mother, since she was 16 months old. So, but I say that to say she had a mother clearly, and not with Fletcher or whatever. So anyway, Nell's son was like, well, I'm just gonna be honest. Okay, so now I do think he was a better person to speak. Because now we're talking about two kids that came into this sort of blended family setup. Okay? Because he's Nell's son, not Chris's biological son. She's Chris's biological daughter. He's not. I mean, and she's not Chris. She's not Nell's biological child. So I do think he was in a better position to say something. He was like, "Well, look, you do seem to have this woe was me attitude. Like it's always, everybody against you." And the other kids were like, first of all, you up here talking about how nobody talks to you and this that, and the other. You chose that for you. Okay, the son was like, look, we all get in art. Nell's son was like, we all get in art. I'm only saying because I don't know their names. I'm not trying to like distinguish, like between biological. I don't mean to do that. But the son was like, look, we all get into arguments. But the thing is, and we fight, but I don't block people on the phone and stuff, and then we don't hear from you and all that other kind of shit. And that can be very hurtful when you and your family fall out and you're just having arguments and then one just takes it to the whole other extreme. Now, Alexis may have been treated differently, but everybody seemed to be giving her, not simply saying, oh, that didn't happen, this, that, and the other, but people were giving examples, anecdotes, okay, calling shit into account. So, and her husband did what I would have done. Her white husband would have, let me tell you something. I do not get involved in other people's family business. First of all, I just don't do it. I was taught that from a child. You don't let nobody in your family business and you don't get in other people's. And quite frankly, there's some shit you just gotta learn how to be silent on. He didn't open his mouth. Shit, they had gotten so rah-rah, it looked like he was afraid to eat. I just, that was tough. But it had to be tough to just sit there and be quiet. But I don't believe he was probably scared. Anyway, but the next thing we know, she's driving a nice car. I did see the car she pulled off in, but she is clearly comparing her stuff to the other kids. So she's kind of talking about what they have or what she thinks they have or what she thinks one parent has given her. And let me tell you something, I've seen that in families. And it's not even like that sometimes. You just think because, oh, they had this, oh, mommy and daddy must have given them this. And mommy and daddy must have given her this. And you don't even know all the time because your parents aren't going to always tell you the other siblings' business, especially if they ask them not to. That's just, it happens, right? But Chris was clear that, and I respected this, because Chris was clear, like, look, this is still my daughter. And everybody else, like, him and Nell's daughter was, like, calling her a bitch. And it was just like, fuck it, I don't even feel like trying with it. Fuck her. Kiki, the cousin that got fired, is like, I can't even believe that. And Nell's son was like, I don't even know why you can't, because she always does it. I said, oh, shit. But, Chris let them talk this shit and just got up from the table quietly and went out there to check on his daughter. And I can respect that, because it is his daughter at the end of the day. And she's saying basically he was, went out there to check on her regardless. And he's saying that, she's saying, you were never there. And he was like, look, I was in a bad place for some time in your life. She was like, my whole life, the only time you even entered my life was when you were like 28. And he was like, what? Okay, now you lying. And the other. Then she was at the table still complaining about the family not coming to her wedding. They were like, you didn't even tell us about it. And we still showed up and showed out. We came at the last minute because you didn't let us know. She do seem like she kind of misremembering. And I'm not saying you can discount how people feel, but it does seem very excessive and extreme. And it was your father still going out there to check on you. And then I'm going to tell you when I lost, because I really did try to give her benefit of the doubt, because I know how your family can gaslight you. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to tell you what did the nail in the coffin for me. When she said, I'll come back here and burn this entire house down. I said, oh, wait a minute, bitch. You a different kind of crazy. I can tell you have clearly been around them crazy, wild ass white kids that threaten to kill their parents and all that kind of shit. Boo, you need, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, unacceptable. And that's when I was like, when I heard that, I said, what the fuck kind of threat is that to your daddy? No, because now you motivated by something else. Shit, we all got to work. We all got to do stuff we don't feel like doing. And we know that your parents wouldn't let you be homeless and nothing like that. But shit, I'm a little concerned when people threaten like that. Something about her, the way her crazy seemed to be set up at that table, when she threatened to burn that house down, something about it made me think she probably would. And I don't like that. I don't appreciate that for Fletcher, because Fletcher the MVP of the show. Anyway, so Stormi and Courtney. Stormi is talking about how busy she has been. And he was like, yeah, you have been busy. She was like, well, not so much with the business, but in being a mediator. You're being a mediator in a situation nobody asked you to be a mediator in, Stormi. And it looks bad. Why is it that every time I see Stormi and Courtney, y'all can tell me, please tell me what y'all think. talking on this show like that, one-on-one, it's cringe for me. Not because like I don't feel like they're in love or anything like that. Not like that. But I just feel like he has probably already heard these stories and then she starts retelling them for the camera. And I don't really think he wants to be on reality TV. I really don't. I don't think he wants to be on it. And so I just think he gets kind of quiet, like, okay, this is important to her, so I'll deal with it. So she's talking about having basically Kiki and Stormi at her house for a mediation. And she wants to serve them shots. He was like, what? You don't get him alcohol? That's going to make it worse. She was like, nah, it'll let the inhibition go. And I was just like, Stormi, are you kidding me? You would bring that trash in your house. These ain't even your homegirls like that. And then you gonna bring them to your house. He was like, no, take them in the bag. And clearly that's where they ended up. Anyway, because the three of y'all come off, I'm gonna be honest, you, Kiki, and Tiffany, every time I see you on camera, what y'all come off as is co-workers. Because y'all are. As part of this cast, but I'm being very clear when I say y'all come off as co-workers, not as friends. And so it looks even more disingenuous when I see you on here, period. All right? So, moving on. Stormi is talking about coming out of their business problems and this, that, and the other. But Courtney decided he would hire Junior back, her cousin. The same cousin we saw them fire at the beginning. And so Stormi is like worried because she was talking to Kyle, her business manager, wherever, and assuring him that they got rid of the employees and the snakes that were forging her signature and stuff like that. And I was just like, I definitely understand why you feel away. But Stormi, then maybe that is a sign you should stay more focused on that and maybe trying to retrain your cousin or just watch over him or just do whatever or keep Courtney from hiring him back instead of worrying about that messy shit between Kiki and Tiffany. They ain't gonna never be friends. Tiffany's a fake bitch. Tiffany does not like people. She's mean. I do think she's jealous. I do think there's something that Kiki has that she wants and she doesn't have, and she wants to make Kiki pay for it. Period. Hard stop. I've seen chicks like her before. So is it me or does Stormi, and I know y'all be like, you go in on her a lot, and I don't care. Stormi always looks stuffed. And when I say stuffed, I don't simply mean like in her clothes. Like, oh, because I'm not a fashionista either. I, of course, ain't on TV. So it, whatever. But she always looks stuffed. Like her face looks stuffed. Like her whole body looks stuffed. Like it's almost like whatever's in her body doesn't seem to be made for the shape of it. It's just, there's so many things. I don't know. She almost just seems stuffed in her own skin. Like she looks like, almost like she needs somebody just to like poke in her to allow her to release, like whatever it is. She just seems like, even from her face, she just looks stuffed. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Martell is finally moving in the middle of the night with his brother Montez, the one who we were glad that he had gotten back out in society and everything. Montez seems to have a whole lot more sense than Martell, but I'm gonna leave that there. All these M names though, child. So he is claiming that he has had trouble finding a house in this market, this, that, and the other, a house to lease. So that's key. And I was just like, welcome to the real world. What the fuck? You ain't the first person to ever have bad credit. You ain't the first person to ever claim no bankruptcy. But you one of the few that managed to blow through you and your wife's money like that. Anyway, so you up here talking about because you need at least 5 bedrooms because I have a lot of kids. Sir. Okay, and I say this as a person that grew up in a family with 5 kids. I mean, my parents didn't divorce till we were grown, but nevertheless, they gonna have to learn how to share rooms. How about that? Okay, until you figure out your finances and keep some money somewhere and stack it up, or they can just stay at Mel's home that she owns. Okay, because I don't understand renting a 5-bedroom house. Your kids aren't always there, and then you have like one kid that's super small, 2 small kids that like. Just cut it out, Martell. Cut it out. You live above your means, and you don't make enough money to live in such a way. Like, suck it up. Okay, go back and live home with your mama. Is she all in your business anyway? Well, not really all in your business, but she take your side on everything. That's what you want. Anyway, clearly, I'm going to tell you what else bothered me about Martell. After you start talking about the 5 bedrooms. He is so ungrateful to Chris Fletcher and all his patients. When they started doing those throwbacks 8 months ago, 4 months ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I was like, damn. And that's just what they caught on camera. I was like, you need to be grateful to Chris Fletcher for not calling the damn sheriff to have your ass removed from a house that is not yours. You were squatting, sir. Period. But okay, Martell doesn't know shit about real estate for somebody who claims to be a real estate expert and have put Mel on. I don't understand why you did not understand this as a business transaction, why you were building a house on a garden lot that we haven't seen since that scene. Like, why you can't live in that shit. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Okay. So Fletcher checks Martell about talking to his wife crazy. Okay. Because he ain't forgot that. All right. So Martell was like, well, I think he understands both sides in the confessional. And he's only coming at me basically because Nell told him to. And I was like, even if he did, that's what a man is supposed to do. Because you bossed up on a woman. Sitting up here like, oh yeah, we both get intense. It don't matter. You showed up at her house. You on her property talking to her like that. There was no reason to go from 0 to 10,000. Now, do I think Nell should have brought that up to you? No. But you were still on her property in her house, and that was not necessary. Fuck you, Martell. Yeah, Martell is a special kind of delusional. I don't even want to waste no more time on his bald-headed ass. So, Mel, okay, this scene, we could have done without, period, hard stop. Okay, so Mel is with her best friend, Brittany, in her house on the hill, honey. And she's talking to her best friend, who's been her best friend since college, who didn't come to her name changing ceremony. She was like, I want to talk about why you're not there, because she's feeling the way. And she was like, I told you my niece was turning 16. I was going to be like in Atlanta or somewhere like that. And Mel was not having it. She was still kind of mad. You could tell she was in her feelings. I was like, girl, I'm going to be honest. I can understand why Mel was in her feelings. Okay? It'd be one thing if it was like your child's birthday. But after watching your best friend go through a public divorce, she was like, I helped, whatever. And I'm not saying it's rational. It's not, I know it's not rational, right? And then she helped her plan and stuff. But sometimes I understand how somebody could feel away. So anyway, so Mel took it back to when she said she met Lil Buddy. And for some reason, I felt like she was going to say, well, I was just afraid Martell was going to get upset. And I felt like that would have sent Melody off. But she didn't. She didn't. And she was talking about all the stuff they had gone through. And she just got to a point and said, her friend was just like, what can I do to make it up to you, Mel? And Mel, you were getting real fucking whiny, okay? And Mel just kept carrying on. And then she was like, well, I need you to help me find love. And she told Mel, she was like, look, I know what you need. I know you. And Mel started talking all kinds of crazy and silly, talking about she can make this international vagina. I said, Mel, if you don't shut the fuck up, I think it's a little early for y'all. Y'all packing in packages. And I can't. So we could have done without this scene. And clearly Mel is the strong personality in this friendship. And her friend is not here for the camera. She kind of the quiet one who just kind of puts up with Mel. Like, she loves her, but like, whatever. She was ignoring Mel's bullshit. She was not giving much. Anyway, so then we get this scene with Nell and Fletcher. And Chris, you know, he coming in carrying boxes for Nell's daycare. I saw the Elmer's glue box. I'm here for it. And I love that every time I see Chris Fletcher, he is doing something. He's working. He is working. There is nothing sexier or better than a man working, doing his job, doing something, not gossiping like a bitch, like every other man on this damn show. Okay, with the exception of Courtney. But see, I'm not really feeling, I don't dislike him, but like, Fletcher, I see you. Okay, so Nell sits Fletcher down to talk about the family dinner. Nell is over, her feelings are hurt and all sort of stuff. So Fletcher talks about like, you know, basically I'm torn because that's still my child. Like, you know, and that is still his child. And he does think that Nell gets not so much mistreated. Well, that wasn't the word he used. She was saying that she feels like she gets the short end of the stick because he's torn. That essentially he has a tendency to still go out of his way for his daughter. And I'm sure that's true. And he agreed with that. And that happens. That happens because when it's your child, you know, people say that all the time. I mean, it is something about somebody being your child. You can't, you know, break that love. But he, you know, he acknowledged her feelings, which I appreciated. So Nell is mad because Kiki, the cousin, said, well, look, you're not the easiest person to talk to. And essentially, Nell is telling him this, asking for his opinion on what she said. Okay, on what cousin Kiki, who got fired, said, okay? And I think she was looking for him to affirm her, like, they don't know what they talking about, this, that, and the other. And he basically said, well, you don't really listen. And he goes straight to, he was like, you just go straight to, well, you're grown. You know better, this, that, and the other. And I was thinking to myself, well, they are grown. Now, that is true. He was like, and, you get upset and this, that, and the other. And I just think, when they come to me, I still listen. She was like, you damn right. I'm not, they are grown. They do know better, this, that, and the other. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, they are grown. They do know better. And she was like, see, but they get in my pocket. He was like, oh no, they get in my pocket too, asking for money. That house was pretty nice. It was pretty clear. They've been working for a minute. And she's mad. She was, basically, Nell was still going off. Like, well, the kids pay you back. You get your money back. They don't pay me back. And the mother, this, that, and the other. And I was telling y'all last week, I think mothers take that a whole lot more. It's more difficult for a mother to accept when the kids are not appreciative or are going to the father over the mother. Whereas I think a lot of fathers just are kind of like, when the kids go to the mother over them, it's just like, okay, well, that's their mother. Like, I don't think men take it as hard. But as Nell was talking, she was unfortunately, either she was getting a bad edit or proving them wrong. I'm not going to decide. I'm just saying. Okay? And as she was talking, I was just like, but Nell, are you mad at the kids or at Fletcher? Because you look like you mad at him for the kids paying him back. Like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like he became a victim in this moment while trying to affirm your feelings, but also trying to tell you, like, this is what you do. And I just sat there like, poor Fletcher, poor black silver fox. Fletcher, I'm here for you. You know what? I'm here for it. So he has clearly been through therapy. And I say that because I go to therapy regularly. And his goal as Nell's husband is to support her, right? And to keep her happy. And it's clear to me, like, he's always, like, listening and trying to, like, be better. And whatever they dealt with in terms of infidelity, you can tell that, like, he worked on being a better husband to keep his wife. And I can respect that people choose whether they want to stay with people or not. But I think somebody being committed to fixing their marriage, which is clear to me, I do think, in Nell's case, that's a man worth staying with. As I say, as I watch this show for, 40 minutes a week. I'm just saying. And he shows to me that he wants her to be happy, not because he says, oh, yeah, I want my wife to be happy, but through his actions, we always see him doing that. And I really respect a man like that, because you don't find men like that every day, or most of the time, or hardly ever. Anyway, but I'm here. And now, if I was you, you seem like you really kind of eating this camera thing up a little too much. And I'm going to tell you right now, just, woman to woman, even though you older and you be counseling all these other people, I wouldn't be putting my fine black silver fox on TV like this, because he ain't that kind of old, okay? Like, he like that fresh kind of, like, right crisp in his, like, middle age groove, like, got his money together groove, okay? On TV for some chicks to try to lure him, okay, into temptation. Girl, you got to be smarter about this. You got a man like that, you're supposed to hide him, okay? So Fletcher don't even seem like a hard man to be with. He really doesn't. That's why I feel for him, okay? He looks like all you got to do is just cook and give him some, and then you can work, have your life. He'll pick up your boxes. He'll support your dreams. He'll go and check a nigga for you. Like, yes, Fletcher, yes. Girl, that's plenty. That's all you need. You better stop trying to be a reality star and just grow old with your boo. I don't see why you wouldn't. Y'all was living good far before this show. Anyway, so then we get Kiki goes to Stormi's back porch or something. I don't know what she was doing. So Stormi claims she wants, dog. I know that dog ain't supposed to be in here. Across the hall. So Stormi claims she wants to see Tiffany and Kiki get in a good place. No, you don't. Okay, girl. So Kiki is basically talking about the methadone, which apparently is part of her outpatient treatment or whatever. And she has side effects where she sweats heavy. And Stormi was just saying, look, my air condition, like, somebody left it on like 58. And like the coils will freeze sometimes. But I was like, you know what? I'm just glad that she's honest about going through the sobriety process. And you know what? I'm rooting for you, Kiki. I really am. Then Stormi's messy ass asked about how Kiki and Tisha were doing and what's going on. Bitch, why? Why? And Kiki was me, or who I was hoping she would be. Kiki was like, what's the point? And she was like, she hasn't tried to reach out to you at all. And she was like, even if she tried, she couldn't. I done blocked her number and the relationship is dead. I don't understand why we need to keep rehashing this. And honestly, I was like, I get it. And I was like, Stormi, just stop. Just stop. Stop playing. Stop comparing this to your mother and her sister's relationship. Because the bottom line is Kiki and Tisha are cousins. They are not sisters. So it's still a different kind of thing. Don't try to project your family drama onto this. I know dynamics can be similar, but you want some bullshit too. You just looking for camera time. And I, as the viewer, could do without you, okay? And several others, but especially you and Tiffany. Anyway, and then Kiki said something that kind of struck me. You know, like sometimes, people say something, you just be like, that's a bunch of bullshit. But when Kiki was like, honestly, I don't even think Tisha would have gone to college if it wasn't for me or whatever. And I'm not saying that she needs to praise me forever, but whenever I say something like that, they get mad. And for some reason, I kind of believe that. Not because Tisha's stupid or anything like that. Certainly not in the academic sense, but I think I can definitely see Tisha coming from an even smaller part of Alabama, and the way Miss Wanda acted, I could definitely see that not always being on Tisha's radar, like somebody needing to kind of, help her along. For some reason, I believed it. I don't know why. But anyway, so Stormi invited Tiffany without telling Kiki, which is already a recipe for disaster. But Kiki was sitting on ready, like, I've been waiting to address her. Okay. And when Tiffany walked in with them cornrows and and I'm going to leave that alone, but with that baby swaddled around her, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Because you want to know what? As far as I was concerned, that was a shield. Okay? From getting her ass whooped. I really do. And to use your baby like that, and that pretty little baby, that baby is pretty. That is a pretty little boy. To use your child like that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And you've been lying on this woman. You know that stuff. Tiffany lied and run her mouth way too much. But anyway, that's all I got for this episode. But I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll see y'all for Potomac. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let me know what y'all think. See you later. Bye.